Hello, welcome to my interview program. I invited senior student Matt Tierney. Hello, Matt.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Some of my friends want to be a police in New Zealand. Yeah, but they want to know the conditions to be a police in New Zealand. How old? What years can be a police in New Zealand?
So the best thing to do is to go on to the 0800 New Cops website. That has all of the fact questions and has a whole lot of videos that will answer all of those questions.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, 18 years of age.
Oh, okay.
You must have a full driver's license. You must be a citizen or resident of New Zealand. And there are a number of other academic criteria that you need to meet. But like I say, it does move occasionally, the criteria, so it is worth going onto the 0800 New Cops website and just having a look.
No limit, age limit?
No age limit. No, we've recently had people in their 50s have graduated police college. So yeah, there's no upper age limit at all. If you're fit and you can pass, then you're all good.
I'm over 65. Can I apply New Zealand police?
I think 65 is the limit, being that it's retirement age. So
Too old.
yes.
Oh, full driver's license. And New Zealand citizenship?
Yes, or residency. Yep. Yep.
PR is okay.
Yes, exactly. Yes, permanent residence. Okay. Yep.
Australian citizenship?
Australians, okay. Yes. So we have a reciprocal agreement with Australia as well. Yep.
Psychologically. Problems, you can't apply.
No, you can. So it really is dependent on your specific issues, and there are rules and regulations around that. But again, the best thing to do is just apply. And one of the first early stages is a medical clearance, and we'll get you to go to your doctor and provide us some detailed reports, and then our medical team will make a decision around it. It might be that. Say if you're taking antidepressants or something like that, there might be a period of time, say 6 months to a year, which you must be off those and demonstrate that you can function without those before you can apply. But it's a case by case basis, and it needs to be needs to be sort of walked through the process.
Generally speaking, if you want to be a police, you should have some physical fitnesses or something like that.
So there are
Physical condition is very important.
Yeah, so there's a number of criteria that you have to meet, and physical criteria is one of them. So you have to be able to do a 2.4 kilometre run for a male, 10 minutes 15, for a female, 11 minutes 15. Those are to get the top amount of points. You need to be able to do a certain amount of press-ups and a jump and a grip strength test as well to get past. That's done on a score basis. You must get 11 points. And again, how that is assessed is all on the website. There's probably the other facet to it is the academic testing, which is done very, very early on. So there's verbal reasoning, there's psychometric testing, which is pattern recognition, and there's numerical testing as well. And depending on your education, will depend on whether or not we'll get you to sit a literacy and grammar test. Yeah. So certain levels of NCEA or external university papers and that kind of thing may mean that you don't have to do the literacy testing. But if even if you do have those criteria, if you've been dealing with recruiting or us and we feel that you probably should be tested like that, we can still get you to do that. So again, it's on a case-by-case basis. We get asked a lot, well, I have these qualifications, does that mean that I definitely will not have to do the testing? And the answer is no. We may require you to do the testing, depending on your formal interviews with us, your written communication with us, and all that kind of thing.
Eyesight is very important as well. Yeah. So again, it's on a case-by-case basis as well. And there are now rectifying surgeries that you can have to, LASIK vision correction surgeries. And again, if you have those, there are surgeries, so there is a stand down period of time and things like that. Again, apply and we'll go through the process really. Any other conditions to be a New Zealand police?
So there's a recent condition around a bad debt. So we talk about good debt and bad debt. So someone having a mortgage on your house is good debt. But if you owe a lot of money to nefarious people, or you have a lot of hire purchases that you can't service and that kind of stuff, then that may potentially be a problem. You need to be a trustworthy person. So your history within New Zealand, or for that matter overseas, if you have come from overseas, needs to be free of things like dishonesty or violence or that type of thing, and links to organised criminal gang units and that kind of stuff for yourself or for even close members of your family can potentially be a problem as well.
If you have a criminal record, you can't.
Again, it's not a firm no, because there are things that are acceptable with an explanation. So again, the best thing to do is apply, and we will look at your individual circumstances and come back to you. And it might be that we seek a letter of explanation around what happened in this instance, or it might just be, sorry, you don't meet the criteria because of this, and this sort of thing. So
it means case by case.
Yeah, it's not a definite no. There are some things that are a definite no. So drink driving, if you have one drink driving offence, as long as you haven't had another one within the last 7 years, then that's usually okay. But any more than one, and that's automatically disqualified. Yeah.
Okay. I'm very interested in your payment. How much do New Zealand police pay?
Okay, so when you're at police college, you still get paid, but you get paid a fraction of what you would normally come out with. So the exact figures, I got them this morning. So during your 16 weeks training at the Royal New Zealand Police College, it's $40,705. When you graduate from police college, it's $59,534.51. And there are additional things that you can get on top of that, allowances and that kind of things, depending on where you're working and all that kind of stuff as well. So around about 60 grand to start with, when you're trained.
Good payment.
Well, could be better, of course, but it's okay.
How long police training needed?
So there's two things to that. If you go to Wellington, to Porirua, to the police college, it's a 16-week course. If you do the course that's in Auckland, so the Tamaki Makaurau course, that's 19 weeks. And that course is based partly distance learning from your home and partly from the North Shore Policing Centre.
New Zealand police can carry guns?
We don't carry them generally, but we do have them available to us should we need them, and we've done a threat assessment to make sure that they are needed. So yes, we do have them available to us.
Okay. Who is the highest paying job in New Zealand?
Police? Well, that's the commissioner. So he's in Wellington, and I don't know how much he earns, but I'm sure you could Google it and it would probably say how much he earns. But yeah, so we have one commissioner, I think several deputies, and about 12 assistant commissioners as well. Largely they're all based in Police National Headquarters in Wellington.
Generally speaking, New Zealand police is doing better and safer society.
That's one of our goals. That is one of our goals. To be the most trusted police force in the world is one of our aspirational goals that we're trying to achieve. And we do have very high engagement from communities and very high trust if you look on a world scale. So yeah, we can always do better, and that's what we're striving to do. Some of the things that benefit you in a recruiting situation is tertiary study. As well as there are a number of courses available in Auckland that prepare you to go into police. So those will all help you.
Anyway, making our society safer and better, your job might be very difficult, hard job.
Every job has its challenges, I suppose. The beauty of the New Zealand Police is that there are a number of different career pathways within it. So at last count, there was something like 50 different pathways within police. So when you first come out from police college, you'll be put on what we call the front line, and that's responding to emergency calls. But after 2 years, you can specialise into any number of things, photography, dogs, the helicopter. There's a number of different pathways that you can go. I currently am in a family harm space, so yeah, there's a number of different roles you can take within the police. So people tend to stay for a while because if you want to change, you can have a change. You can be doing something quite different. Yeah.
Many police officers enjoy the job.
Yeah, it takes, everybody loves the job. That's for sure. That's why you join. You join to help others. And yeah, that's our ultimate goal, is to make everybody safe.
Anything else regarding recruitment, please?
So there's a couple of things. So I'm the county's Manukau district lead for recruiting. The districts themselves are in charge of attraction, if you like, to the police. So we do pop-up police stations, and we run seminars on a Saturday once every 3 weeks. We do a lot of online campaigning and that kind of thing. There is another recruiting team, the national recruiting team, which are based in Ellerslie, and they are responsible for you once you actually apply, and then helping you get through the pipeline towards college. So a couple of just slightly different things. So through the recruitment process, there are a number of stages that you go to. The first stage is an online application in which you're asked a number of different questions around your background and health and that kind of stuff. We always encourage you to be the most forthcoming with information that you can be, so as we can get an early look at what might be happening. From there, you'll have a phone interview with the person. And what we always say is that it's really important to remember that every time that you have dealing with a police officer or a recruitment specialist, that it's essentially a job interview. So if you're using informal language or you're dressed not as you would for a formal job interview, then those things can potentially go against you. So what we say is that any interaction that you have with any police officer or recruiting specialist, just bear in mind that it's a job interview. So it's important to be formal, dress appropriately, and even in email communication, just make sure that all your grammar and everything is correct, and that you're speaking, that you're using the correct terminology. So once you pass the interview, they'll invite you to do what's called a PAT rehearsal. That is our the 2.4 kilometre run that we talked about, and the times that we talked about. That is the jump, the vertical jump, the push-ups, and grip strength. Grip strength test, and that's on basis of points. You have to get 11 points to pass that, and again, the criteria around that are on the 0800 UCOPS website, so it's really quite clear on that. You get assessed at those rehearsals, and then if the PEOs, the physical education officers, deem that you're ready to go, they will get you to book into what's called the actual PAT testing. Before you go and do the PAT testing, though, you have to go to attend an assessment day, and that is at the Ellerslie recruiting centre that I was talking about. And on that day, there is an abstract reasoning test, which is the pattern recognition. There's a verbal test, which looks at your sentence structures and that kind of stuff. And there's a maths, numerical questionnaire as well. There is a non-assessed psychologist or psychology questions, but they're just questions that you don't get marked on those at all. From all of the information they've gleaned from that, and as well as the previous interactions that you've had with them from phone interviews and all that kind of stuff, they will then make a determination as to whether or not on that same day you sit the literacy test. And the literacy tests are make up of sentence structures, spelling, grammar, and all that kind of stuff. After that, after you're successful through that, then you go to that PAT final, and you pass that. During that process as well, we have what's called CFIT, which is our distance learning, and that's 3 university papers, and it's a cost of about $700 to do that, and that's a requirement before you go to college. You must have completed that as well. At another point in that, once you've completed that, then you will have to do final medical clearance, and then you'll go into what's called a candidate waiting pool. You also have a formal interview with recruiting, and they'll advise you of which date that they're looking to put you to college on. The conversations around whether you can go to college or whether you need to stay in Auckland, and some of the reasons why people would stay in Auckland to do it is childcare, things like that. They might have dependents that they can't leave Auckland for. So what we were finding is we were losing really good candidates because they simply couldn't afford to go to Wellington for 4 months, but they can, and they can afford the time in Auckland. So,
okay, I've talked to Senior Sergeant Tierney. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.